Hello there, this is Oscar Mike here, bringing you this Knights Hospitaller playthrough in Europa Universalis 4. We're going to be taking the Knights Hospitaller on a crusade throughout the Mediterranean, retaking Jerusalem and other bastions of the formerly Christian Roman Empire, hopefully, or it could all end in disaster. This is, after all, a hands-on playthrough where I attempt the most challenging starts the game has to offer. I hope you enjoy watching. Okay, so let's take a look at our starting position. We're going to take a look at the advisors we have access to. Of course, we can't afford any advisors at the moment. Make our leader a general. Pick the only mission that I think we have a reasonable prospect of actually completing within the next 5 years, creating a proper fleet. Reduce army maintenance to 0. National focus is administrative, because we're going to want to pick an administrative idea first. We haven't decided which idea yet, though. Improve relations with papacy, because why not? Improve relations with Venice. Now, we want to become an ally of Venice and take advantage of the historical friendship bonus. They're also currently guaranteeing us. So we'll try and form an alliance with Venice sometime in the future. Taking a look at our government type, theocracy, not my preferred method of government, if I'm honest. It's actually pretty useless. We get -2 tolerance to heathens, which is a big problem. Excuse me, heretics, because we are a Catholic nation governing a majority Orthodox population, and that means with our one province we have 0 religious unity, which doubles the cost of stability. Now, I can't complain too much about this leader. You know, sometimes this game can be extremely cruel to you, other times it can be very kind. I'll just leave it at that. 655 for starting ruler's stats. I think he's also aged 20, so I'm not going to complain too much. Probably one of the best leaders I've ever received as the Knights. And +10 prestige, +1 stability as a random event. Yeah, this is going rather well, folks. This is a good start to my Knights playthrough. Now, I have tried the Knights before, and in the previous playthrough, I lost, basically, within about 10 years. Greek patriots rose up. They put down my measly army with their 8,000 troops. And my only province defected to Tribesund, which is another Greek faction at the start of the game. So hopefully this playthrough will go a little bit better. We'll see. Improving relations with Venice and papacy, like I said. Making sure we mothball all the ships we build straight away, keeping army maintenance to 0. We're already at 20% revolt risk from Greek patriots. That is not good at all. We're going to have to do something about that unrest in the future. And we've completed that mission. 5 naval tradition, 5 prestige. Pick the mission, improve our prestige. Try and get 1 stability. I don't entertain false optimism in believing that we're going to be able to accomplish improving our prestige to 50. I think that's a bit out of our reach now, but let's just pick it up. You never know. An alliance offer from Venice, that is terrific. That's absolutely what we need. We're just improving our relations at the moment. So how are we gonna do this playthrough? To be honest, I haven't exactly decided. I have a rough idea of what I want to do, but I'm just not quite sure how to form the idea into a concrete plan of action. We're surrounded by hostile factions that are a lot larger and more powerful than us. The Mamluks, Ottomans, Aragon, Austria, France. I think the way forward for us, though, is expanding somewhere in Italy or on the Dalmatian coast. Ragusa's a great target. We could do a no-CB, a no-cause bellum declaration of war on Ragusa and try and vassalize them. I know we don't have the trade range yet to core them, so we would have to opt for vassalization. Alternatively, we could try and attack the Byzantines when they're busy with the Ottomans and try and conquer some of their lands, but of course they're going to be Orthodox, and I don't really want to be adding any more Orthodox provinces to my already Orthodox majority Christian minority nation. But I'm thinking about it. It would be a hell of a trick declaring war on the Byzantines simultaneously to the Ottomans declaring war and managing to successfully siege Constantinople and perhaps some of the Greek states, but of course that would require 6,000 troops, and that's already a bit over our force limits, so we might have to discount that possibility. We could try and declare war on the Mamelukes and take Cyprus, because we can fabricate a claim in Cyprus. The downside to that is we're going to rely upon the Venetians doing the majority of the fighting, and I don't know if they can be relied upon fully. I would be very concerned that the Venetians would just sort of float about the Gulf of Venice with their galleys, leaving the Mamelukes to conduct an amphibious assault of Rhodes. So this is an interesting event. I get this quite often, cessation of church functions. It's a negative tax modifier, but we get some papal influence, not really that useful. But we can't afford the stability hit at this stage in the game. Like I say, 0% religious unity means it's 200 stability to boost our stability at 1 mark. Absolutely can't afford that. We need to save all our administrative points for our idea groups. We recruit a general, he has 1 maneuver and that's it. Pretty useless. In desperation, we turn our leader, our 655 leader, into general. He's not much better, and to be honest, we're not going to risk him in combat anyway. That was just sort of a desperation move. If you ever have a leader with in excess of 15 points spread across administrative, military and diplomatic, don't risk putting him into combat. Keep him safe at home. Don't risk him dying in a siege or a battle. Keep him alive. Get some military access from Venice. And for the meantime, we're just waiting. We can see the Ottomans. Now, look at that. Can we take another look at that? That Byzantine leader, he has, if I'm not mistaken, he has 3 stars. I gotta see this. How many? He's a 6. I saw he had 6 fire and 4 shock in the year 1448. That is absolutely unbelievable. I do not know how the Byzantines pull it off. I don't even know if they're a lucky nation or not. If they were, that would in part explain it, but I've never seen such a potent leader at this phase in the game. Not that I can complain. I'd happily take my 655 leader over a decent general, but we're just going to take a cog here and scout. I want to see if there's a potential opportunity to declare war on the Byzantines. It would not be ideal, because of course the Ottomans have cores in all these provinces, so if we were able to conquer some of these lands, we'd be at risk of the Ottomans declaring war on us, and we'd have absolutely no means to defend ourselves. So I want to try and keep away from the Ottomans insofar as is possible for now. Obviously in the future we'll have some grand designs for fighting the Ottomans, but for now we're just concentrating on keeping safe. Ragusa is going to be our target. We've excluded the possibility of attacking the Mamelukes because not only am I concerned about conquering an, a 8 base tax province, which is going to have a lot of problems with nationalism, revolt risk, it's orthodox also. So we want to try and avoid Cyprus. I'm also not confident we could win that war. We could get enough war score to conquer Cyprus. So we'll leave the Mamelukes for now. Ultimately we'll want to conquer Cyprus, but for now I think the way to go is to attack Ragusa. It is a wealthy province. We won't be able to core it, it's out of range, but we will be able to vassalize it and use it as a base for expanding into the Falklands later on in the game. So definitely the real challenge for the Knights is at the start of the game. We're already buckling under high unrest risk, an abysmal economy. We're trying to build some semblance of an army. You see we have 4,000 troops and 4 ships. But if we can declare war on Ragusa and get Venice as an ally, I doubt we even have the capacity to beat Ragusa by ourselves. No, we need Venice. We're going to have to wait until Venice has sorted its domestic problems before declaring war on Ragusa. And that could take some time. But we'll see. Loading our troops up, disembarking them in Dalmatia. Yes, Venice will come to our aid. So I've got a little plan here. The Ragusans have a cavalry unit of 1,000 chevauchés. We have 4 infantry units, and we're up against a river crossing. So to be honest, I don't think we'll win that battle. What we'll have to do is we'll wait for the Venetians to reinforce, and we'll make sure we arrive in Ragusa before the Venetians do, so we have control over the siege. Just to make sure we get the 100% war score needed to vassalize the province. That no CB declaration of war, of course, cost us 2 stability. To recoup that, cost about 400 administrative points, so we're going to leave it for now. We're not going to spend 200 administrative points to get 1 stability. That's insane. And we're going to time this attack correctly. Wait for the Venetians to disembark. Now, will this align? We'll arrive on the 9th, they'll arrive on the 14th of September. Close enough. We'll get there first. We'll have, I think, a fire phase and 1 shock phase to go through alone, and then the Venetians will arrive. Yeah, we take the river crossing, getting decent rolls, and the Venetians arrive. So we're fairly confident we can win this. In fact, we're certain we can win it. We're going to split off 1 little troop to pursue, because we want to get the prestige and army tradition from defeating his force. Make sure our attacks aligned with the Venetian attack. So we're going to take a fire phase here before the Venetians arrive, and a shock. Venetians arrive, we stack right the enemy. And now it's in the case of siege and reduce it down. And the walls are breached. So this is our plan starting to take form. With Ragusa as a vassal, that will open up in the future the possibility of expanding into Serbia and Albania. It'll also provide us with a boost to income, not much, but vassals do provide some income. And we're getting very concerned about a revolt risk now. Those Greek patriots have risen to 50%. We wouldn't have the capability to, and we can't take 4 peasants rising up in Rhodes now, so we're gonna have to take a 25 prestige hit loss. We'll cancel our mission because we're not gonna be getting to 50 prestige anytime soon, unfortunately. We simply don't have the resources at our disposal. Again, I hesitate to even call this a guide because I'm pretty much making things up as I go along here. I have not much experience playing with the Knights, and we've won the Siege of Ragusa. Get a diplomat free. As I say, we're just trying to do the best we can at the moment and see where it leads us. I am a little concerned about the amount of aggressive expansion we've accrued as a result of that no CB war. And we'll take the vassalization, 50 diplomatic power, a bit of aggressive expansion. We'll also get some money out of it, so it's not entirely wasted. And there you have it, our first vassal, first of what will hopefully be many. They're providing us with 0.06 gold per month. Not exactly ideal, but we'll take it. We're clutching at straws here already. And the Ottomans are now consuming the Byzantines, so the Byzantines are not long for this world despite their 6-fire 4-shot leader. And we're eyeing up the next potential competition. I would love to conquer Cyprus, but as I've already mentioned, I just think that we'd be relying too heavily on the Venetians. I'm also concerned and slightly paranoid that if we conquer Cyprus, I know for a fact the Venetians want Cyprus, so I'm worried if we take it, the Venetians might dissolve their alliance with us and try and take it off us. So I want to avoid that happening under any circumstances. We absolutely need Venice as a loyal ally for this part of the game, sort of as a bulwark against any smaller nations who has designs and roads. It really is an interesting question what idea group to pick first. I've already decided it's got to be an administrative idea. And the reason why that is because simply put, administrative ideas are the best idea groups in the game, with military being a close second and diplomatic being in the slightly weaker end. But I haven't decided which idea group to go for first. I've decided that we don't want to waste administrative points in teching up. We'll get to maybe tech level 4 to pick our idea group, and then we'll plough all our administrative points into completing an idea group. That'll mean any subsequent technology is reduced by, I think it's 14%. You get a 2% reduction in technology cost for every one idea you have as part of an idea group. And I believe there's 7 ideas in every idea group, so that should total a 14% reduction in technology. Taking a look at some of the ideas we have, I don't really think converting roads is something we have a realistic prospect of success at this stage. Now we do have the option for rivaling now, so we're going to rival Bosnia and Serbia. Go ahead and embargo them to get a bit of power projection. You ideally always want to aim to have around 50 plus power projection to get the extra +1 points in admin, diplo and military tech, but we're a long ways off that at the moment. Might as well try improving relations with the Ottomans and Austria, see what will come of it. Can't believe 7 years have already passed. All we've done is vassalize one minor nation. But we'll take what we can get. Still 6.5% unrest. I am very concerned about that, but there's simply not much we can do. Trying to desperately think of something that will save us from this mess. Well, we're coming up to our maximum amount of administrative points. We're just trying to delay it for as long as possible to see if we can get a bonus reduction in technology costs, but I don't think we're going to be able to achieve that. Our ruler's too good. He's got 6 administrative points. We can't really complain. Now, this is a great event. +1 base tax or +1 stability. Absolutely terrific. I'm going to take the base tax because that's a stronger long-term investment. It's not going to work that much for the moment because, as you can see, we're -15% for taxation because of that cessation of church functions event we had earlier. But getting extra base tax to roads, that's really going to help us in the long term. This is a mission I'm not used to seeing much. Placate Aragon. Never seen that mission before. I just don't play as small nations that often, but we're gonna pick it up. It's +25 diplomatic power if we can get it. All we need is 125 relations with Aragon. Okay, so we picked our first Tech 4 level, and we're gonna choose our administrative idea. It's our national focus, so we could go with religious. The three idea groups I really like the look of at this stage are innovative, religious, and humanist. But we're going to pick humanist. And why not? Humanist is an absolutely terrific idea group. Easily one of the best idea groups in the game. Our first selection is 25% increased religious unity. And that's going to help us straight away. That's going to bring us up to 25% religious unity from 0. That's going to reduce revolt risk. It's also going to reduce the amount of cost for increasing stability. And using the money we receive from Ragusa, we've hired a theologian who's going to reduce our national revolt risk and keep those Greek patriots from rising up in Rhodes. I tried a Knights game earlier and I lost because rebels rose up in Rhodes, so about 8,000 of them, and I simply had no means of defending myself against them. Wasn't paying attention to the revolt risk, the rebel factions. But we're gonna make absolute sure that we don't get to 90% revolt risk from a rebel faction. We don't want to have our province defect again. We finished improving relations with the Ottomans. And things are looking fairly good for us. I'm not going to lie, we've got Locke, basically. +1 base tax to roads, +1 stability from events, a 655 leader. I can't really complain about this playthrough. We've had our good share of positive events. And so, even though we haven't expanded very, very far, all we've done is vassalize Ragusa. We're in a strong position. Our technology is very strong. Our income's not bad. We don't even have any loans, and we're only at -1 stability, so we're doing alright. I'm fairly confident about this playthrough, so long as we don't do something catastrophically wrong. I'm fairly confident. One thing is, we're going to want to keep an eye on our aggressive expansion. I know for a fact it's very high from that no CB declaration of war against Ragusa, so long as we keep that down, watch for any rebel risings in Rhodes. Keep an eye on our Greek Patriot revolt risk. I'm sure we're going to survive this opening phase of the game. Now this is a terrific event. Another one of the reasons why you pick humanist ideas, -10% idea cost for, I think that was 8 or 9 years. And I know for a fact that given the fact that we have national focus is administrative and a 6 admin point leader, that's going to allow us to buy about 2 ideas, taking advantage of a 10% reduction in cost, which means we're going to save about 80 administrative points from that idea. Excuse me, that event. So again, that's another huge asset for us. It's definitely going to boost our tech. We're going to be swimming in technology points in this playthrough, at least at the start of the game. I mean, our leader's only 20, he would be around 25 now. He's got many more years of life yet. Pick 1 mercantilism, always opt for mercantilism, set you up strongly for the late game. He's going to put our income, our transfer trade part from Aleppo down to 0. but that's not a problem at all. Mercantilism is a it's pretty much negligible in the early game, but in the late game, it's one of those things that really helps your trading come out. So we're just trying to boost relations with Genoa and the Mamelukes. Not because we anticipate we're going to be able to strike alliances with either of them, but just if it can keep them from entering coalitions against us, then I'm happy, and I am worried about aggressive expansion. Yeah, the next humanist idea, -2 national unrest. Again, that's a terrific pickup. It's great for us. That's put our revolt risk down to 2.8%. We don't even have to raise stability. Why spend 200 points raising stability when you can spend 360 points reducing your revolt risk by -2 by placing points in an idea group? That's how you gotta prioritize. Pick your first idea group specifically tailored to what you want to achieve at the start of the game. Now I see that Corsica's become independent, so that's a potential place to expand to in the future. We'll keep an eye on that. It is part of the Holy Roman Empire though, so if I recall, declaring war on them will result in Austria coming to their aid, so it's not an immediate target, but we'll keep an eye on it in the future. I think the way we go from here is we wanna consider attacking Cyprus as soon as possible. With Ragusa under yoke, that's going to provide us with the income and the additional naval forces we need to possibly win a war against the Mamelukes. Of course, that'll be highly dependent on Venice supporting us. Nation of Venice, your faithful allies, requesting you come to their aid in the Venetian conquest of Cyprus. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. Venice really wants to conquer Cyprus, and that's why I'm so concerned about conquering Cyprus, purely for the fact that Venice may dissolve their alliance with us in their desire to conquer Cyprus, and might possibly even declare war on us in the future. So I don't know whether or not I should accept. I don't want to lose a prestige hit. I know I can scarcely afford to lose Venice as an ally in this stage of the game, their only reliable ally. On the downside, like, can we win? Am I likely to just be attacked by the Mamelukes with an amphibious landing and possibly fully annexed? Take a look at the numbers. They have 29,000 troops, significantly more than Venice's 18,000. But I think a real indicator of who's going to win in this war is who has the most ships. So we'll better check that. Yeah, Venice has 65 ships, 43 galleys. Far in excess of what the Mamelukes can field. So I think we assist Venice. I think we need to keep them as an ally. Even though we'll derive no benefit from this war, we might be able to loot some provinces, boost our income a little bit, but aside from that, I really am struggling with this one. I think we have to accept. I think we have to fight with Venetians. I doubt Venice will be so utterly incompetent as to allow the Mamelukes to sneak troops across the Mediterranean and invade Rhodes. Surely not. I have to have a little bit of faith in the Venetians. I could take the prestige loss. I couldn't take losing Venice as an ally. So even though it places a real risk of catastrophe for me, I think I have to accept. See if we can fabricate a claim in Cyprus in the meantime. Who knows? Venice might transfer control of the province to us. Although I don't think I've ever had that happen in a war. Have the war leader transfer a province to a lesser nation. Transfer an occupied province to a lesser nation, no less. So I think we're going to have to accept. It looks like Venice is immediately vying for naval superiority in the Eastern Mediterranean, so we will help. We'll come to their aid.